Welcome to Redefine Your Worthiness with Caurel Richards. Get ready to step into your power to unleash your true potential. Caurel is a rapid transformational practitioner specializing in childhood trauma. While also being a mental health advocate, Caurel has embraced her own personal struggles to transform herself, to turn her pain into her greatest gift. Her mission is to provide the ultimate safe space to understand and support your most vulnerable moments. Get ready for real and raw conversations that will inspire, empower, and encourage full self-expression and self-acceptance. Redefine Your Worthiness with Caurel Richards starts now. You know, it never gets boring hearing that introduction. I'm always wondering, who are they talking about? But welcome to episode number 2. I am your host, Caurel. And today we have with us a special guest. I won't introduce her yet, especially because these conversations that we're about to have, we typically have them on a daily basis. So really, we're just inviting you into our conversation. So if you feel like there's anything that you want to add, feel free to give us a call at 1-800-930-2819. You see me looking down, I had to look at that piece of paper to tell you the number. But today is going to be an interesting topic. I'm certain, unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard of human design. And today's conversation really is about the importance of understanding you. Not me, but you. And in understanding you, you have this level of confidence that you can just walk in your power, in your strength. But we first have to, start with the nitty-gritty. Who am I? So with today's conversation with my special guest, we'll be diving into human design and how it actually impacts and improves your life over time. So special guest Megan is here, my friend, my confidant. Let it rip. Let them know who you are, Megan.
Hello, I'm Megan. I am a theta healer. I am a human design reader, and I just launched a subscription service called the Healing Space. So this is a place where you can come. It simplifies healing. I really wanted somewhere for my clients to go after their theta healing sessions, because they're kind of left with, where do I go from here? So it's a really great space for them to access to continue on their healing journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's just a small snippet. She could go into more, but I know we have limited time, and we are grateful that you're able to join us today to have this conversation. So we are going to be talking about human design, Megan.
My favorite.
So for those who don't know, we respect you, we honor you. So we're going to share a little bit about what human design is, first of all.
Human design, it's an offshoot of astrology. So astrology, it can be some people find it a little bit vague. Human design is very, very specific. Mm-hmm. Based on your birth time, your birth chart, and birth location, you'll get a chart of what your energetic body looks like and how your body takes on energy, how it expresses to the world. It's blown my mind. It hasn't even changed, it hasn't even affected how I think about myself. It was very validating for me, but it's changed the way that I parent. It's because I've always been into conscious parenting, but it's taken that to a whole new level.
Okay. So for those who don't know the different types, I know that there are five. There you go. There are 5 of them. If you could just tell them a little bit more about that.
Yes. Okay. So there are generators. They're the most common type. They are here to build. They're here to work. They're here to create life force energy for the planet. Okay. They are like that train that just keeps steady, go, 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 go. Right. But they do get burnt out like everybody else. So their sacral energy can get a little bit laggy. Then there's a manifesting generator. They also have that sacral life force energy that they bring, but their energy is very multi-passionate. They like to, they're non-linear beings. They kind of go from one thing to another, to another, to another. And a lot of times I find that my manifesting generators have a conditioning where they feel guilty about that, where people kind of make them feel bad about the fact that they like to jump around, but really that's what they're supposed to do and they're good at doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then there are the projectors. I'm a projector. Yeah, we are here to guide. We are, I don't know, it's kind of like the wise old owl. We just have a lot of inner knowing. And we can easily see into the other. The energetic body of the projector is very piercing. So it's easy for us to kind of look into systems, into people, and see where adjustments, corrections can be made.
For lack of a better term.
Yep. So, you know, a lot of people aren't ready for that energy. So, you know, they either love me or they're kind of they're on guard with me because I see them on a very deep soul level.
Yeah.
Then there's our manifestors. Yes, manifestors have a very big aura. Once, if I were to go into detail about the manifestor, you could probably pinpoint the manifestors in your life. These are big energies. They are the initiators. They are not here to be told what to do. They're here to be telling us what to do.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that?
Nobody tells Caurel what to do. They are here to start things. Okay. There is a lot of conditioning that can come with our beautiful manifestors because when they're children, you know, that's what parents want to do. They want to tell their children what to do. And that can cause a lot of friction with a parent-child relationship.
Yeah.
And then there are our little unicorns. The reflectors are less than 1% of the population. They are here to reflect back to their community what's right in it, what needs correcting in it. It kind of shows the challenges of the community.
Yeah.
That's that in brief, very brief.
Yeah. And it's funny, and I'm going to be very transparent. When you got to manifestor, I was like, okay, we're done. I forgot about reflectors. And that's typically kind of sort of what happens because what they do is they kind of blend in because they're like mirrors for people. So you really don't, and correct me if I'm wrong, you really don't get to see them being, I don't know what the word is, because at least you know those characteristics of a manifesting generator or a generator or a manifester. There's not one particular characteristic, at least to me, that I can say about a reflector. Is there a reason for that?
They're just harder to pinpoint. There's not a lot of them. They're less than 1% of the population. Every time I find one, I'm like, yay! I only know of 3.
Do I have one? Kate, and if Kate is watching this, Kate is a reflector, and we have really great conversations.
Send it to me.
You know, it's interesting to find out these different types. And of course, when you said manifestor and how we have this bold, piercing energy, or if I heard correctly, we have this energy that sometimes is misunderstood. And I can relate to that because I remember, you know, as a kid, knowing that I was different. I knew I was just very bold. I knew I had a different way of seeing the world, but then I would speak up about it and no one would understand, one. And if they did understand, they would take offense to it. So I learned very early that I had to be careful about what I said. And over time, that turned into people pleasing and not speaking up at all. So after a while, I decided to just stop speaking or stop speaking my truth. And here I am today, of course, speaking it. But it takes some time to get to that point. So what are some of the things you would recommend to anyone of any particular type? What would you recommend for them that are actually conditioned? And I know it's easier for probably generators because we live in a generator focused world. Like what are some of the steps you would take as any of these types to get closer to who you are and accepting yourself a little bit more?
That's a really good question. Honestly, it's so dependent because it depends on who is raising the child, because a lot of conditioning happens in our childhood. So sure, you're like, yeah, we live in a generator populated world because they are the most common type. But if you've got a projector raising a generator, you know, you may, because projectors don't have that sacral energy. They need a lot more downtime, more rest. They need to be exhausted by a generator, manifesting generator type child.
Yeah.
So they may not allow them to express their energy as much. Or if you have a manifesting generator raising a generator, because generators like, and I'm speaking typically they like to do things in steps, right?
Okay.
So the manifesting generator might come over, the manifesting generator parent, sorry, might come over to the generator child and be like, no, do it this way, you're too slow. You know, you can do it so much quicker this way, because manifesting generators are here to find shortcuts. It's
Yes.
much a quicker way to do things. However, that's not the generator child's thing. They need to be left alone to master something, and they may want to do something over and over and
Yeah.
over and over again until they master it.
Yeah.
But us as parents, it's like, why do you keep doing the same thing? You must be getting bored, and we project our stuff onto the kid. Where it's just like, just sit back and observe the kid and let them kind of do their thing, right?
Yeah. That's so true. You know, with you even expressing that, I remember going back to a time, of course, I had a lot of projectors around me. My mom is a projector, my brother's a projector, my partner's a projector. So it's almost like I leaned towards being a projector because of, you know, the magnitude of them being around me. And I now recognize that them projecting onto me and me accepting it, and I have to say it how it is, it's me choosing to accept their beliefs, really caused me to become very, very angry. So I know that there is this not self that we've spoken about before, and the not self for me, I know as a manifester, is that there's a lot of anger, and it kind of tells you, dictates to you when you're out of alignment with who you are. Can we talk about that a little bit more?
Absolutely. So like you said, manifestors, there is that feeling of anger that comes up. They are a very, very independent spirit, and if they're not given access to their independence, if they've got, especially a helicopter parent is the worst for a manifestor child, because they want, did I just see an eye twitch? That independence can get squashed so easily because the manifestors have such in their authenticity, they are so connected to themselves and to creator. Now this is a beautiful thing, but it can also come at a cost, because they do it can be isolating to the people around them. It's like, why don't you need me? The parent, why doesn't my child need me? And it becomes an offense to the parent. And so there's just this energetic like, ah.
Yeah.
But it can easily squash the power of the manifester. And when I do my readings, the manifestors are only 8% of the population, but I get a lot of them coming through my door because they know something in them doesn't feel right. And just parents didn't know. Again, we're not here to blame the caregivers. You only know what you know.
Yes.
But these manifestors grow up and they're feeling very shut down, caged.
Yeah.
So they come and I give them this information and give them options and tools to liberate themselves. It's a little bit hard at first, especially when you're so used to being shut down.
Yeah, I can definitely confirm that. Just in case you were wondering if that's true, it's true. But the good thing is that there's this thing called accountability, responsibility, that, you know, at a certain point, you can no longer blame, you can no longer put fault on your parent. You get to a certain age where you're just like, all right, so this doesn't feel good anymore. I don't like being the angry friend. I don't like being the angry person. So you start to look for ways to be a better version of yourself. And I think with human design, it made me a better daughter. It made me a better sister. It made me a better partner. It made me a better friend, because now what happened for me is like, okay, if I'm a manifestor, I know the friends around me are either projectors, generators, whatever they are. I meet them where they're at, right? And in meeting them where they're at, I no longer expect them to behave like me, right? I don't project onto them, well, I'm expecting you. What we do as human beings is that we expect ourselves from other people. I stopped doing that. And as soon as I stopped doing that, I was able to see the person that was in front of me and accept them for that without saying or being critical of them, because I'm now understanding that, hey, they are that workaholic because they have the energy and they enjoy what they're doing. So I wanted to make sure that I integrated that into my practice as well with RTT, where this person who at this point they're going through this journey on their own and they're really not sure who they are. And then when you integrate that with human design, you're like, oh, so when I wasn't finishing that task and I was always just a starter and not a finisher, you used to shame yourself. And that was my story. You used to shame yourself because you're like, why can't I finish things? And then when you came into that meeting and you're like, oh, well, you just start things and you don't finish. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Validating. It's so valid, but there's so many pieces. It's not even just about the type. Me being who I am, I've got lots of people coming to me for advice, to talk, whatever. My gift is that I can create space for people.
Yeah.
But I didn't find me reaching out to those friends. I would just not think about it. I just would forget, like, oh, wait, there are people around me who love me, but I wouldn't, and I didn't know why.
Yeah.
If I looking at my chart, and I don't want to get into this into detail, but it shows in my chart that I don't need that. I can process within myself.
Yeah.
I don't need relationships. I want them. I love them. But in my chart, it shows me that I don't need it because I really just process things on my own. I really just talk to myself a lot.
No, and I'm glad you said that too, because at one point in my relationship, I thought, oh, I should need this person, but I don't feel like I need them. But I don't want him to feel insecure. I don't want him to, and you have all these thoughts going through your head, and you're like, all right, maybe you should just figure out what's really going on here. Is it that you feel like if they don't need you or you don't need them, that the relationship is just not going to last? So it's asking yourself these really deep questions and accepting the answer that comes, because nobody knows you more than you, right? And despite whether or not that information is healthy, it's understanding and holding space for yourself in that moment, even for the messy things, right? Like, what's another thing I would say? Oh, I just do things on my own. I just get up and I go do things, even if it affects another person. But I've learned that I have to inform them that I'm going to do this. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I should have to change how I go about doing it. It's just letting them know that, boom, I'm going to do this. Are you coming along? If you're not, I'm out, Yeah. And that's it.
Once you get that hit of like, I need something to do, like, or I have to do something, you just got to go.
Yeah.
And that's why it can be so isolating. You have to learn how to inform those in your life so that you can include them into your life so they don't feel so left behind. It's like, I'm going, jump on, or just, you cannot get in the way of a manifester when they're on a roll.
Yeah.
Then you get the angry bird.
And you don't want that. But I don't get as angry anymore. The one thing I'll say is that when I do inform, I get more help. Even in my business, I used to want to do everything on my own. But then when I started to reach out and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing, someone would then suggest, hey, I know someone. Oh, I can do this. And I'm going to be honest with you. These are things I didn't really want to do, but I knew how to, and it didn't really light me up. So it was good that somebody else offered to do them. So it helped me out, essentially.
Yeah. Yes. And that's where having a team of a variety of different types is so amazing.
Yeah.
And if you do have a team, know what each type is so that you guys can know how to utilize each person's strengths.
Exactly.
Everybody needs a good generator. Everybody needs a manifesting generator. Everyone needs a projector to see how we can improve,
Yeah.
I've gotten myself into a lot of trouble with that one, though, when I wasn't invited.
Oh, boy. So that brings up my wisdom. How has human design improved your relationships with your family, your friends, your husband, your kids? Let us know.
Oh, it improved my relationship with myself first.
I like that.
That's where it really started. Being a projector, I grew up in a family of generators, so I was seeing how they were moving through life, and I was trying to keep up. And I used to just shame myself for burning out all the time. Why am I burning out?
Yeah.
And I used to think the shame was just unfathomable. I would get so sick, like really ill. And what is happening to me? And when I learned that I'm a projector and I'm meant to work in a specific manner, in a specific way, I stopped getting sick.
Yeah.
My kids have gotten, they're very, very young. They're 4 and 2. And so they go, when they're at preschool, you know what that means. They're bringing home all of these germs. I have not gotten a single illness since the summer. And
Call
they
them
have
the
caught
germ
us
magnet.
all. But I take rest for myself. I watch my energy. I know what I need. It just really validated me. Then I started learning about my husband, who's also a projector. So I've got 2 projectors and 2 manifesting generator children.
Oh boy.
And manifesting generators are the most energetic type.
Yeah.
Projectors are not energetic. Okay? I come off energetic because I'm talking about something that I love, so I'm able to, muster up that energy. But I learned I needed support, and so I chose to put my kids in a full-time preschool because I don't have the option of family to help me with my children. Well, my mom does, but she works full-time. I needed more support.
Yeah.
Because I was burning out having both of them at home, and I also started my practice when my daughter was 6 months old. So
how does it work? How does it work with having 2 projectors with 2 manifesting generators? Like how do you make it work?
It depends on the day. I do, you know what? And I really love being a mom, so I find a lot of joy in it. But I find a lot of joy in it because I can go off and do what it is that I love to do. That I get to talk with you, that I get to help people heal, that I'm just living my life in alignment, and it just helps give me the energy to be the energetic mom to these 2 beautiful kids. There are days where sometimes I'm just laying on the floor and letting them jump on me.
And how's that going for you?
Well, they're not very gentle. It's just constantly checking in with myself and asking myself what I need, and making sure my husband's taking care of himself. And it's challenging. They're young, but I also have the perspective of, this is just the season that we're in.
Yeah.
And I already know my children's trauma is going to be that mommy and daddy can't keep up. So I've got beautiful friends that can support my children.
Do you worry about that? The fact that you aren't able to keep up with them and that it might traumatize them?
Yeah, obviously doing what I do with theta healing, I'm always helping people sort through their traumas and things. And, I'm not a perfect parent, and I always wonder, like, what is my child going to go to their therapist or their healer with? And I'm still human. I'm conscious, but I'm human. So I just.
Yeah. Well, guys, we can't stay here forever. We wish we could, but we can't. So Megan, before we head out, I know that you have an offer. There's something going on with you right now that you'd like to tell us a little bit more about. I know you mentioned the healing circle. I know you mentioned theta. Is there anything else that you'd like to let the world know?
Well, if today really interested you, and you want to know more about your human design, my favorite service that I offer is human design plus theta healing. So it's a 2-hour session. The first hour, I'll go through your basics of your chart with you. It's just such a beautiful time to chat. We spend that hour. I walk you through your chart. I give you some notes to take home. Really help you understand who you are and why you are. And then afterwards, we'll do the last hour as a theta healing. And this is a type of energy healing where we get to the root cause. Usually through the human design session, we kind of see where the conditioning lies.
Yeah.
Theta healing helps to release that conditioning and get you back to your authentic self. That's been my favorite service.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Now, I am so grateful that we were able to have this conversation. I'm sure we'll have more. For next week's episode, or not next week, but 2 weeks' time, because we are here the 2nd and the 4th Friday of every month at 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Didn't forget anybody. Our next episode will be on different modalities, because healing isn't easy. And sometimes you need support, but what kind of support? Our next episode will be on the different modalities that you can choose from in order to support your healing journey. Because like I said, it helps sometimes to have someone there to walk with you, because it can get a little heavy. So look forward to that. Look forward to you guys being here. Look forward to you guys investing your time with whoever the guest is. I'm not telling you who it is yet, but I am grateful that you guys spent your time with us today. And the one thing that I'll walk away from today's conversation with is that as long as you start accepting who you are, it gives you permission to accept others, because we're a reflection of each other, right? So if there's something about another person that triggers you, I would say it's a part of who you are, and it's a part of you that you've probably not had much compassion towards. So look forward to seeing you guys, hearing you guys. Call in. We're here for those questions. And just remember, be kind to others. And of course, that kindness starts with you. But thank you guys for being here with us. And thank you again, Megan. Take care of it. Thank you for joining us today on Redefine Your Worthiness with Caurel Richards. Join us here in our safe space for real and raw conversations. My mission is to support you at your most vulnerable moments. Together, we will redefine your worthiness to embrace your own path to personal growth. For more information about me, you can visit indivinetime.com. That is INDIVINETHYME.com.